Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 66, Psalm 66 of our daily psalm reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. Today we are on Psalm 66. Don't ask what happened with 67, but we're actually on 66. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 8th of January 25. It's a Wednesday. You can find the previous 65 psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one, these videos are unedited and also I probably stumble on my wording. Let's get started. How awesome are your deeds! To the choir master, a song, a psalm. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Give to him glorious praise. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds! So great is your power that your enemies come cringing to you. All the earth worship and sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name, Salam. Come and see what God has done. He is awesome in his deeds towards the children of man. He turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the river on foot. They did rejoice in him who rules by his might forever. Whose eyes keep watch on the nations, let not rebel, Leas exalt themselves. Salam. Bless our God, O people, let the sound of his praise be heard, who has kept our soul among the living, and has not let our feet slip. For you, O God, have tested us. You have tried us, as silver is tried. You brought us into the net. You laid a crushing burden on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water. Yet you have brought us out to a place of abundance. I will come into your house with burnt offerings. I will perform my vows to you, that which my lips uttered, and my mouth promised. When I was in trouble, I will offer to you burnt offerings of fattened animals. With the smoke of the sacrifice of rams, I will make an offering of bull and goats. Salam. Come and hear, all you who fear God, and I will tell what he has done for my soul. I cried to him with my mouth, and high praise was on my tongue. If I cherished iniquity in my heart, the Lord would not have listened, but truly God had listened. He has attended to the voice of my prayer. Blessed be God, because he has not rejected my prayer or removed his steadfast love from me. So that is Psalm 66 complete. And tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 67, which is already being coloured in. For all new viewers, I will now put onto the screen a post-it note which will explain about what the psalm is all about, and also explain what these bits here are and the bits here. So before I get started into the second part of the video, I always do like an explanation type of section where I explain a little bit about what's going to come up on the post-it note. So we talk about the time period in the psalm, and a lot of the psalms in the book of Psalms, the date is unknown. That is due to the fact that historians and scholars don't know when that particular psalm was written, so they will put it as unknown. Sometimes they do, and sometimes obviously they don't. But they sometimes go with an event that may have occurred around about that time, might have been discussed in the psalm. Case in point, in Psalm 51, an event gets mentioned, which is obviously to the choir master, Psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet went to him after he had gone in to Bathsheba. So it's obviously talking about the affair that he had with Bathsheba, and then obviously having Bathsheba's husband killed. So that's obviously that type of event for that particular psalm. There are some psalms where there is no event linked to it, but it's fine regardless of if there's an event or not, because not all psalms have to have an event linked to it, and not all psalms have to know exactly when they were written, just that they were written, and that's all that matters. So the post-it note is here. So this particular psalm is unknown. It was after oh my gosh, this is not going to go well today. So it was after the Babylonian captivity, which is what the historians and scholars believe would have been the event. It's a psalm of thanksgiving that praised God for his might and deed and deliverance. And some historians and scholars believe that Psalm 66 is actually a combination of two psalms that were originally separate. And why they say that, I will obviously go over it now. After I've read this, I'll go over it. One part of it is more talking about communal. It's kind of got like a communal orientation to the psalm, and then obviously the second part is kind of flips into the individual orientation of it. So what I mean by that is, so from verse 1 to 12, the community prays God and invites the world to join in. The psalm recalls how God saved Israel, specifically the Red Sea. The psalmist believes that these revelations of God ruled over all nations. So that's what it means when I mention communal. Because it's obviously talking about Israel being saved, in particular the Red Sea, as it's been mentioned. So and so that's obviously talking about like a communal section of it, and obviously communal community being a nation of people, and obviously then it goes that these revelations of God rule over all nations, which is obviously, as I said, that is obviously where it comes into a communal side of the psalm. So they believe that this particular, so from 1 to 12, which is obviously this bit here, and then the top part here, they believe that was once a separate psalm and it was combined. Now, obviously, we don't know if that's actually true or not, but some scholars and historians believe that to be true. Now, as I said, is it true? I don't know. Obviously, the only person who knows were the psalmist, the author. And then the second part, which is that from 13 to 20, which is the last part. An individual, the rescued community fulfilled a vow to offer sacrifice of thanksgiving. The psalmist expresses his personal commitment to offer sacrifices and to declare what God has done for him. So that's what I mean by an individual orientation. So it's more focused on an individual side of things, on individual basis of what the psalm is seeking. Because obviously with from 1 to 12, it's obviously asking God for obviously help, for to help Israel as a nation. And mainly the main focus obviously would have been the Red Sea, where obviously on the second half it's more of a personal, it's more of an based on an individual side of things. So that's why they think it's more of a two psalms put into one psalm. Now, I kind of see why they would have thought that, because it is a bit unusual for a psalm to talk about a community aspect and then on the flip side, in the same psalm, talk about individuals. So it is unusual for that to happen, but this psalm obviously has done that, and so I kind of see why they would have suggested it to be two psalms put as one. But when that happened, when did the two halves get put together? I don't know. If it ever was separate, I don't know. Just that some historians and scholars do believe it was two psalms put to one, but we can't be 100% sure on that one. And it gets mentioned 3 times during the psalm. So it gets mentioned in verse 4, verse 7, and verse 15, Selah. And I will talk about what Selah means. We'll go back to the beginning. So Selah is up here. It's a rest, a pause, or reflection. So when the psalmist wrote any of the psalms that have Selah in, it's done for a rest or a pause or even a reflection, because these psalms are, when they were first written back in the time period that they were written in, they were sung. They were songs. People would sing them. So naturally they would want to have a bit of a rest or a bit of a pause to kind of regain their composure, get a bit of a rest on their voice so they don't have to strain their vocal cords. And some of the Selah parts can be a reflection of the bit that was said before. Case in point, so let's just have a quick look at 4. So when it's obviously comes in 4, it's obviously at the end. So all the earth worship you and sings praise to you. They sing praise to your name, Selah. So what that then means is it's a reflection of the bit that was said before. Now we could say, well, doesn't it mean that bit at the top? No, it's literally the bit before. Now some people will say that's not quite true, is it, Alice? My interpretation of it is it's the verse before, not the whole bit. I don't know what makes me suggest that, but I think it's more when you're looking at it. All the earth worships you and sings praise to you. All the earth worships you, as in all the earth worships God and sings praise to you, and sings praise to God. They sing praise to your name, which is obviously God's name, Selah. So that's what I mean. It's a reflection on that little bit before. So now I don't sing, so I'm not even going to attempt to sing it, even though it does at the top, to the choir master a song, a psalm. And then obviously it goes, shout for joy to God, all the earth, sing the glory of his name. Give to him glorious praise. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies come crying to you. All the earth worships you and sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name, Selah. Now I can see why people would say that. So I'm not actually saying anybody's wrong here. It's just obviously my interpretation would be the verse before, which would be the start of 4, not start of the psalm. But I can see why some people would then say, actually, Alice, I think it's all of it when we're looking at the reflection side of things. Now, you're not wrong there, and it could be correct, but obviously this was written thousands of years ago, so the original interpretation of what Salam meant and their reflection of it is obviously going to be different to what it is now. But my interpretation of it is the verse before, not the whole chunk of it. So that's just my interpretation. Nobody's right or wrong. So if somebody is going to say, well, actually, Alice, I am on your interpretation of that, so I think that actually you're correct on that. And then other people could say, well, actually, I think it's the other part of it. I think it's more the whole chunk of it, not just a little bit before when it talks about reflection. So, as I said, everybody's going to have their own interpretation of it. And as these psalms were written thousands of years ago, the original reason behind that section of Salam is going to be different to what it is now. So, yeah. So, that is Psalm 66 complete. I will now write in the day and date, which is obviously the 8th of January. And tomorrow we will be doing 67. So that thing done, as you can see. It might not look great, but I know what it says, so that's the bit that matters. So yeah, so tomorrow we will be doing 67, and thank you for watching. Please like my content, please subscribe to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you could, and please turn on the notification bell so you can get notified of when new videos get uploaded to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.